Hey everyone. I just wanted to check in after not having checked in for a while and finally do a kind of a recap of some things that are going on and some things that I've been working on and things that have been changed. So, um, first off, I spent a whole long weekend updating this guy. Um, he has a little bit more depth than I had originally when I had worked on some of the face tracking, eye tracking, and things of that nature for this guy. Um, there's clearly some things that still need to be worked on, but I'm excited to finally show some things off. So, without kind of further ado, let me show you some of the new things and get this kind of thing started. So, before, I mean, it was very basic in terms of expressive range, in terms of um, how words would be said, and um, it's been greatly expanded upon, leading to some maybe very minor facial things going on at times, but eh. So here we go. So first off, um, did a little bit more work in the jaw articulation so that it actually moves a little bit with the jaw when you have it open and when you decide to move it left and right. It's very subtle. It's not like, overboard like you see in some. But it gives off that impression of things kind of moving to the left and right subtly as you move your jaw. So I can talk a little bit about the side of my mouth and changes the whole nose and end position just very subtly. Gives a little bit of nuance there. Um, Another thing that's been worked on is I found a way to add anger as an expression onto the face. And you think, well, how can you do that with just facial expression? Well, if you now grit your teeth, like you would be doing with the expression anyway, you naturally get all the angry out. It sometimes causes a little bit of misdetection because if you are naturally a toothy talker and you have teeth that like to show whenever you talk, it'll sometimes misrepresent the teethiness as you trying to intentionally be angry. So I'm having to be a little bit more cognizant of talking with a little bit more closed mouth, and so that doesn't show through on the video. Um, some other cool things that I work on. You can now make yourself look like a bloated balloon. Obviously, we still have scrunchies and puckers and all the different things that I had before. Um, the eyes are a little bit more expressive, so you actually have a thing called eye widening that's happening. So when I get a little bit excited, you see the eyebrows very subtly raise and lower, and so it feels more natural to how I'm talking and how the expressiveness of my eyes come across. Obviously, the tracking's still working, and blinking's still working, but along with the blinking, there's now a new parameter for squeezing of the eyebrows to have it come down. So when you're blinking, when you really have your eyes closed, it just really likes to come on down. So you can really, give off that whole scrunchy effect. But another thing that was worked on is finally the blep can be done. So just subtly sticking out your tongue, it now no longer just sticks through your jaw. It actually looks like a natural blep, which is how it was always supposed to look, and I just never could figure out the science behind, how it works. But on top of that, you can really like get a lot better articulation in the tongue than you could before. And it doesn't look unnaturally, like sticking out the side of the jaw or the mouth. It all is set in such a way that it actually looks natural. No more tongue sticking through your neck. Left and right work great. Up looks a little broken because it's a little far, but it gives off the kind of sense that you're kind of licking the nose anyway, so I decided not to mess with it anymore. But it makes certain things really cool, like when you get the, when you get the popsicle going. It just has a really great effect now. So, hand gestures now are very different. They now no longer have any control over the face, but they do have a lot of control over the ears. So you really still can get your high perk position if you have it hands-free, with your hand on, in the natural resting pose. It goes back to the default phase like this, or you can have ears lowered with both hands on to give you just a little bit of flexibility with the ears, because those are obviously something you can't control very easily. So having those tied to hand gestures without anything else being involved is a definite win here. So I'm enjoying the fact that I get to do that now. Some other things. Let's see. I actually added in, it's very subtle, but I actually added in a grin. So on top of the natural smile, you can actually open up your teeth just a little bit on the top, and you get that nice subtle grin kind of look. So it's a lot more smooth in the transition, instead of you having to smile and open your mouth, because that's what I had to do before. Now it actually kind of bends the lips back a little bit. You get a little bit more of the toothiness, and it looks a little bit more natural. Obviously, frown. Lip bite still works as usual. So, all in all, I think it added another level, and I hope that shows and comes across on the video right. The biggest things that I think are the biggest cons that I found so far is that, again, because now that there's so many expressions working in tandem with each other, it's much harder to be deliberate about certain expressions without cross-bleeding a little bit. So you can even see, like, when I talk just sometimes, like the angry expression likes to creep in every once in a while, or the happy expression likes to creep in every once in a while because of just how I talk and what it's doing to the overall expression. So I may end up adjusting it a little bit more, but I kind of like where it is now. It feels enough. It feels good. One other cool thing is I worked on adding a toggle, a viseme toggle. So now if, you get into those awkward situations where the automatic word talking thing gets to be a bit too much, you can completely disable those. And now I'm using my total natural mouth talk. It looks a little weird because I don't think it quite, even though I got a lot more face in here, it still doesn't quite articulate the same way that I think it should, unless I'm being really, really deliberate. So, but still cool. I don't know why my mouth is stuck open. Maybe because I disabled it at the wrong point. There we go. But I have to be really, really articulate. And, if you can be that way without it causing some crossbleed effects, it could be a lot bigger of a bonus to use it this way now. I just, I had a lot of fun. I did. I hate not having been in VR chat for a while. Turn back all the words. I hate not having been on VR chat in a while, and I hate kind of leaving things that I've been working on halfway in the dust. It's been a weird time for me. I don't really like being back on in one sense, but it's kind of refreshing to find a little bit of creative outlet again, and to see characters that were already great come to life even more. It's I know it makes me happy, and I'm just glad I get to share a piece of that. I can't claim that that I'm any bit as talented as someone that can truly model a an avatar, or really truly knows the ins and outs of what it takes to really create something from scratch. But I at least get the satisfaction of making what I find a little bit more usable for me. And if somebody else gets to use that, that makes me happy. And that's all I ever care for. Because really, in the end, you know, even if nobody else saw it, nobody else watches this, nobody else cares or comments about this, it's fun for me. And that's, you know, the end. And the fact that even the small things that I did before were so appreciated means a lot to me. But I plan to be on more, hopefully. I plan to create more. If you call it content, I don't know if it will translate more to videos, or if it just would translate to, you know, weird weekend projects like this, or something different like that. But I'm at least, you know, planning to be on the platform more than I had been. I'm still really upset. If you don't know what happened to VR chat, you've been living under a rock. But I'm still really upset about the things that happened, about the things that changed. A lot of those things necessitated me having to do these reworks in the first place, and it essentially killed the fuel from me and the drive from me to keep moving forward because of the limitations that are now thrust upon me. But in the end, you know, excellence succeeds through struggle, and in the end, this is still the biggest platform to create content for. And so for that, I think I'm at least gonna come back and give it a shot. But yeah, anyway, this was really just kind of meant to be a show off video to show what some things are new and different and wild and wacky, and because I think you all deserve that. And I think that for those that are in the Discord for Edison Fox's avatars, I think I will be releasing the new model, or, you know, maybe at least working on getting a new model released, and then releasing the new animators and animations that go along with it, so that we can rebuild a much better version for everyone. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, the way that I've exactly modified is always best. I always encourage people to really tweak and get their own designs out of it, because I obviously handcrafted everything to work for a certain aesthetic that I like, and that may be that, you know, one that not everybody likes. So I really want to be able to share the tools so that others can do the same thing and do it in a way that fits their aesthetic, and move on. I think in terms of next projects and next things that I want to work on, I do really want to work on the Digigrade model, and I don't know how accessible it's going to be for me to do so yet. I can try to pull the model directly from Unity, but it's always had a little bit iffy results. I don't think there's been a public release of the actual digigrade model that's Blender accessible yet, but we'll see. And maybe I can make the same modifications there and really have a flexible face tracking experience for everyone. And again, I don't think any of this could have been done without Edison, who clearly put together the avatar itself, and has already created so many great mouth shapes to work with right out the gate. I don't think I could have done any of this without feverishly exploring Add Jerry's guides and templates, and exploiting the face tracking community's software and expertise, even though I probably haven't been as vocal in there as I probably could be. But yeah, it's been fun. It's real. But just glad I get to really have something that's worth showing, you know? So, yeah. But anyway, that's just all for my update, and I'll catch you all later. Sorry for it's coming in at late night. Just is what it is. But bye for now.